Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video from the Francophile. It is Jalen and Maria and we hope you all are doing well. In today's video, we are going to be giving you an update on our second month of our master's program here in France. Alright, so this is our second master's degree in France update to let you guys know how it's going, what we've been doing, and yeah, but this has been yet another pretty difficult month, and we're gonna tell you why.
So like we've talked about on the blog and on our channel, we are in class for about 30 hours per week, and this month that has meant that we have had very little free time. Between traveling to school, coming home and doing homework, and actually sitting in class for 3 to 4 hours per class, we don't see much of the outside world. That has been taking a bit of a toll, and I think, at least for me, it's felt a little bit disappointing because it's so awesome to live in France, but it just feels like we live in this bubble of we're at our apartment, we're in the bus, we're at school, I'm in the bus, and now I'm doing homework until I go to sleep. There's not very much time to even plan a weekend trip or go see something even in our own town. We don't get to do that very often. Yeah, it's just been tough, especially after the year that we had last year where we had nothing but free time and nothing but ideas and places to go and things to see. It's been tough, like seeing all the fun stuff out the bus window and knowing that I have to come home and study for 6 or 7 hours.
I feel that to a certain degree as well because I'm also in class quite a bit, but I think what we've come to realize, I guess, is that your program is very demanding compared to my program. It's not like my program is a cakewalk or anything, it's just a product of, I guess, what we chose to study, which we couldn't have
what
done
school
before.
we chose,
yeah, the school,
and the
everything.
professors that we have.
Yeah, all that stuff. And so at the moment, yours is just like super demanding. But yeah, I mean, those aspects, we both have been having a tough time with them, but I think for you, it's been more intense.
One thing that Jalen and I had talked about before arriving was the possibility of working during our master's degrees. At least for me, and at least for this year, that is not happening at all. Like I said, it's sort of the same point. I do not have time.
For our specific situations, actually, like, holding a job would be pretty difficult because, I mean, you're in classes from, a lot of days from 8
a.m.
to 5,
7 p.m.
8 to 7, 9 to 5, things like that. And my schedule is just so unfixed that it would be impossible to have a fixed schedule at a job. So I mean, this could change obviously in different semesters, different years, but that is one of the things that we can't do.
On a positive note about that, both of our programs have required internships at some point in the 2 years, so we will be working, and we're also planning to work over the summer when we're not in class. So it's not really a, oh no, how are we going to afford to live? Because luckily we have a very strict budget, we have plenty of savings, and that's what we're living off of right now. So it's just sort of odd because we have always worked during our studies, so it's a little bit different and not what we had planned. So like we talked about in the last video, there's really no institutional support. That continues to be the case. Everything is just super hands-off is the best way to describe it. There's not a lot of organized events. Really, there's none. There's nothing like, there's no peer tutoring, for example. There's no office hours for professors. There's obviously no RAs. Just all the things that we had come to associate with success in college and helping you to push you on the right path and help you to get to graduation. All of that just sort of falls on the individual. And while there isn't any support for international students to speak of, there's also no support for French students in that area. It's just a difference in the college system, so that's something that still is interesting and different, and we're getting used to. After having classes for about 6 weeks, I think we've both gotten a better understanding of how our classes work. I wanted to talk a little bit about the law methodology that they use here. Were it not for him being a different program, I might assume that all French programs are like this. But my program is very strict on methodology in every way that you can think of. All of our courses are set up in the same outline format. Each class within the course is set up in that outline format. Every assignment that you have to do has a specific format that you have to follow. And our classes consist of the teachers reading from a paper, if you will, a work that is in the outline format, and the students take notes verbatim, which is so not what I'm used to at all. For some of my classes, I already have 60 pages of typed notes because of the sheer amount of information that the professors give and the way that law students take notes here, at least in my program. I'm definitely still getting used to it, and I'm not fully sure that I understand it yet, but everything is super strict. Like I said, it's an outline within an outline and the course within the class, and it's all very strictly organized.
The class where I have the most notes written is nowhere near 60 pages, I will assure you, and it's different still than what I'm used to, but it's not. My teachers don't just sit up there and literally read an academic paper to the class. That's not at all how it's taught. It's more closely related to what I'm used to, you know, just kind of, there's a PowerPoint, you know, some information on there, they talk, you kind of hear the important bits that they repeat because it's important, you know, it's just the same kind of method. But yeah, whatever she's got going on in law over there,
it's a crazy time.
It's a different world over there.
Yeah. Another point that I think applies to both of us is the fact that we did undergrad and we were able to hold jobs, get good grades, we were in honor societies, we were very involved on campus, and we were able to juggle that all almost with no problems. It took a lot of planning, of course, but here, it's not that we're unsuccessful in our studies, but being immigrants, if you will, or international students sort of brings you down a notch. And whereas our best in America got us A's, our best here doesn't necessarily guarantee that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, moving from one country to another in a bunch of different ways knocks you down a notch. So for academics, I mean, you know how much time you have to put in, what effort gets kind of what grades and stuff. Here, you have to basically relearn that you don't know. And this kind of shows itself in all sorts of different parts of life. You have to relearn everything. It's like you're a child again, basically, so yeah, so that's just an interesting point. Going from super successful model students to, wow, we're trying really hard and who knows if it's even what we're supposed to be studying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta learn it, you know?
Right. I also think it's worth mentioning that we really haven't had any sort of mental break from having to leave France in a rush in March, to having to deal with a crazy visa process over the summer, to having to rush back here right before classes started. And now all of the stressors that I just outlined are our daily life. And so it really just feels like we haven't, I think I said it in our last blog post, which you should check out, we posted that this week as well. It's like we haven't been able to catch our breath. It's like constantly, like whether it's the logistics of moving somewhere or something with the school administration or even stuff in our personal lives, like it's always something. You know what I mean? Like this month has been really overwhelming in those ways. And whereas a lot of people, for example, French students, might have had the summer to work a job and relax a little bit before this year of their master's degrees, we did not have that summer.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we left France the first time, I mean, we were in the process of applying to the school that we're in now, and getting the visa, like you said, it hasn't stopped. And yes, of course, we've had some relaxation time. It's that we haven't been only doing that stuff, but still, it's a lot. And so we're on a break right now, which is nice, but
we've been spending,
but we've been doing homework and
every day,
stuff like that. So you know, it's just the stage we're in right now. I mean, we're full-time students, and in France that really means full-time students. And you know, this is kind of something that comes with coming to study in France, I guess. You know, being a degree-seeking student.
Yep. All of that is not to say that we hate it here and it's the worst thing ever. We just really want to be real with our audience, because as far as we can tell, a lot of people are really interested in also coming to France to study. And sometimes, just like with TAPIF or study abroad, things can be a little bit sugar-coated. And so we always want to be honest on our channel about how it's going. And this month, it wasn't going amazing. It's just kind of going.
One of the complaints that we hear a lot about this type of stuff is that, like you said, it's sugar-coated. And so, I mean, we just want to keep it 100. Like, right now, yes, I'm living in France. Yes, I'm doing exactly what I set out to do, but like, I'm not vibing right now. I'm not vibing as much as I could be. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Like, that could be the case literally anywhere I am in the world. Like, it's not gonna be super awesome 100% of the time. Like, and it's school. Like, I don't know about you guys, but the act of going to school, going to classes, doing homework and stuff like that, writing papers, it's not the most awesome. It just isn't, in my opinion. And so,
see,
yeah.
And on the opposite side, I like school. Like,
yeah,
I enjoy going to school generally. It's just that, like I said before, and I'm hoping that it's only up from here, but this month has been tough.
Yeah, it's just been
whether you enjoy school or school is a means to an end, I think this month for both of us has just been like, wow, what else?
Right.
What else could happen?
That just goes with everything. Like, just because you do those things that you like doesn't mean your life is going to be some sort of like fairy tale awesome like utopia. Like,
right.
It's just real life here, and that's what we're trying to convey to you all. We're trying to tell you what it's really like for us, because some students are here having a blast.
Yep.
And I mean, that's fine. That's their experience. If you go back and look at our TAPIF videos, we were having a pretty good time, and some people were not. So it just depends. And so we're just telling you what's going on with us.
And like we always say, and we're not just saying this, we really do support each other and try to stay positive and take care of each other. So that's our plan, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we are going to keep working hard and hope that the light at the end of the tunnel continues to be brighter. The last thing we want to talk about is France's new lockdown. Where to begin? On Wednesday, October 28th, the president of France announced that there's another national lockdown.
Il fallait retrouver à partir de vendredi le confinement qui a stoppé le virus. Tout le territoire national est concerné.
K through 12 schools are staying open, universities are going fully online, and work that is impossible to do from home is still going to go on, but they're supposed to be prioritizing working from home. We're going to have those lovely permission slips again to leave the house, and basically we're going to be staying at home.
Yep.
It really affects us this time because all of our classes are going to be online. So who knows if that will have a positive or a negative effect on the stuff we were talking about earlier. Maybe we'll love it, maybe we'll hate it. I don't know. We'll tell you in a month. But yeah, so for now, it's 4 weeks long. It could be longer. That's to be announced.
Yeah.
But we are back in quarantine. Seems like every time we come to France, they lock us in.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, like I said before, a pretty not awesome month. We talked about a lot of negative things, so hope this doesn't, come off as too much of a downer video, but
yeah.
I mean, that's what happened this month. That's what we've been doing this month.
And that's the update. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this video with anyone that you think might want to see it. I do see on the statistics there that about 80% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed, and many people don't share or like our videos either when I compare it to the views. It helps us in the algorithm and helps people be able to see our content if they're interested in it. So anyways, we will leave you guys here and see you in 2 weeks.